Alright guys, here's another review for you. I love to fish. I go fishing as much as I can. And I've always been a fan of Minn Kota stuff. Well, that might be changing a little bit. I had a 30 for years. One of the, was not an Endura like this is. It was another 30 and I'd used it. And finally it kicked the bucket. Well, a 30 is all I need for where I fish at. And no need to go any higher than that, just a little bit extra weight to be toting around, and plus the short shaft is very important to me too. I fish a lot of black water, a lot of ponds, stuff like that, in the woods, in the swamp. And Minn Kota, the old ones used to be great. Well, I've got some gripes about this one. Price point, I think I picked this up for right at $100. They've made changes to them since the last time I bought them. Number one, this is all plastic. All this mountain bracket and everything's all plastic. And the way they used to make them, you were able to come up here and cut a couple of notches off. And you would cut them off from like here to here. So if you're going down some of these blackwater rivers and your motor hits something in the water, the motor just kick up and you keep on going. Well, the way they've made this now, you can't do that. You can't do it without pretty much destroying the strength of the track. You can't do it. That's a negative for me. This, although it does the job, that plastic up there, it just has a lot of flex in it, and you can feel that flex when you're putting it on the boat or when you bump something in the water. And I guess the flex might protect it somewhat, but it just doesn't feel solid. I'm not happy with it. Another thing about it, everything up here feels cheap, feels really cheap. This is the Endura 5-speed 30. And I mean, everything rattles. It's just not solidly built at all. All your locking collars are plastic. You got nuts that are recessed into a socket that you tighten up, which is very similar to the old way, but it's plastic, and it's not going to take too long for that to wear out. I don't like that. This locking mechanism is a little bit, I'm not as happy with it as I am with the old, that had the little L pin that came up and you just kind of pulled it up and it dropped down just fine. This is just a tad bit awkward for me. One of the reasons is I got short arms, so when I'm turning around trying to do something with the motor, I kind of got to get out there to get it. I didn't earn the name alligator arms for nothing, but that's not a good point for me. Another bad point, I don't know what they've changed in the design. Years ago with my other Minn Kotas, it had a reverse. It had a really good reverse. If you needed to back out of somewhere, you could do it with no problem. With this one, you got to give it full throttle. And if the wind's blowing, you can forget it. This thing won't back up for nothing. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know whether they changed something in the way the props are made, but it has the crappiest reverse, the shittiest reverse I have ever seen on any trolling motor. And I understand that these things don't have as strong a reverse as what they do, in forward speed. But where I fish at, and you get up in a hornet nest, big old bald-faced hornets look like a gray basketball hanging out the tree, you kind of want to get out of there. This ain't going to get you out of there. You going swimming, Jack, you're going to swim to the other side of the pond or the river or wherever, because you just can't back up with this motor. It just isn't worth a crap. I use it on a little 12-foot John boat. No extras in the boat. The boat's light. But this sucks. It will not back up for nothing. Then they put this extender handle thing on it. And that is about the flimsiest feeling thing I have ever. I mean, it's got so much play in it. I don't know. I can't really describe it. It's very, very, very flimsy. And even though you get a good solid click on the turns, sometimes it just don't want to fall in the gear you want, or cut off for that matter. Sometimes you'll come back around and you can count your clicks, and you're just right here in, the off position. You own the fish. You get there and you stay. God damn it, my damn boat ain't stopped. I'm still moving. It's just not a real solid. Overall, it's a very flimsy motor, and it will get the job done if you need it. If you need a cheap 30-pound trolling motor, it'll do the job just fine. But I'm really not happy with the way things have gone with Minn Kota as far as solidity. I mean, that's just flimsy as crap. I could take my hands right there and just snap the darn thing in half without any problem. And I don't know, they cut so many corners on it that I feel like Minn Kota's not doing proud American work anymore. And I'm not a economist or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure that 90% of this thing's made on the other side of the ocean somewhere. Matter of fact, let me look here. Well, no, I was wrong. It ain't made on the other side of the ocean. It's made on the other side of the Rio Grande. This thing's assembled in Mexico. So I guess you have to learn how to cuss it out in Spanish. Hell, I don't know. My big thing is, if you need a little trolling motor, this is great. It'll do what you want it to do, but if you're an avid fisherman and you're going to use it a lot, you're going to find out that it's very, very flimsy, and there's going to be a lot of things lacking that you can probably get by going to Motor Guide, or even that. There's another company, I can't think the name of it right off the top of my head, but they have got to make a better product than this. You can't back it up. It's flimsy. You can't adjust your locking teeth to kick your motor up if you hit something. Example being, cut some of them off. You can't confidently just toss this in the boat. You better lay it down nice and easy, because like I say, this is one of the crappiest trolling motors I've ever seen, and it's from the biggest company, and I'm let down on that. If you're willing to put up with the flimsiness and the junkiness, hey, it's the motor for you. I'm not, so I'm going to get something else. I'm gonna go with a Motor Guide, and I'm gonna take this one and I'll stuff this one in a box and put it up somewhere, and it'll be a just in case spare motor only, because I'm just not happy with it. Not happy with the way it performs, and there's better options out there. There really are. I hope this review's been helpful for you. Just, if you got to spend a few more dollars, go with Motor Guide. To hell with these guys. I mean, they used to be the company to go to, but no, not anymore. Well, y'all fellas have a good day. I hope this helps somebody out. Helps you not spend money and then not be happy with what you've gotten. So, it is what it is. Minn Kota 30 Endura. That's one cheap ass little motor.